You already know what a shrimp is. Small, soft, basically helpless, something that exists near the bottom of every food chain it touches. That picture is accurate for almost every shrimp alive. But there is one family, over 600 species, where one claw grows larger than the rest of the body combined, and that claw does not grip or crush anything. It does something that should not be physically possible for an animal this size. This shrimp is smaller than your finger. It kills prey without touching it, using a mechanism that briefly reaches the temperature of the sun's surface. That is not a metaphor or a rounding error. It is a measured physical event happening right now at the bottom of coral reefs, inside a body you could lose between your couch cushions. The snap closes at roughly 100 kilometers per hour, completing in under 1 millisecond. A human blink takes somewhere between 150 and 400 milliseconds. By the time any involuntary reflex in your body could begin, this snap is already over. What makes that speed possible is not raw muscle power. The claw stores elastic energy in its structure and releases it all at once, bypassing the speed ceiling that direct muscular contraction imposes. The sound that comes out of that release registers at up to 210 decibels at close range, louder than a rifle shot which sits around 140 to 160 decibels. Dense colonies of pistol shrimp produce enough collective noise to interfere with submarine sonar. The ocean floor in those areas is not quiet. It is deafening. But the snap itself is not the weapon. What the snap produces is, when the claw closes that fast, it ejects a high-velocity jet of water. The pressure behind that jet drops so sharply that the water itself vaporizes, forming a small bubble, a cavitation bubble. That bubble exists for only a few microseconds before it collapses. During that collapse, the internal temperature spikes to approximately 700 degrees Celsius. The surface of the sun runs around 500 degrees Celsius. There is also a brief flash of light emitted at the moment of collapse, a phenomenon called sonoluminescence. Scientists have documented it, though the exact mechanism is still debated. The pressure wave released when the bubble collapses is what travels outward and stuns or kills. No physical contact required. The shrimp generates a near-solar temperature event inside a body you could lose between your couch cushions. So how does it actually hunt? The pistol shrimp does not chase anything. It lives in burrows, coral rubble, sponge cavities, sand tunnels, and it waits. When something small moves into range at the burrow entrance, the shrimp fires. A single snap can stun a small fish or invertebrate instantly. The shrimp then drags the immobilized prey inside before it can recover. If the first shot misses or fails to stun, the shrimp reloads and fires again within seconds. The entire sequence, aim, fire, retrieve, completes in well under 1 second. No venom, no ink, no pursuit. The claw is the whole toolkit. What the shrimp cannot do is see any of this clearly. Most pistol shrimp species are functionally nearly blind, which creates an obvious problem for an ambush predator. Many of them solve it through a partnership that is strange in its own right. Certain species pair with small goby fish, sharp-eyed, burrowing-dependent fish that have no shelter of their own. The shrimp excavates and maintains the burrow. The goby stands watch at the entrance. When the shrimp ventures outside, it keeps continuous antenna contact with the goby's body. The moment the goby detects a predator and dives, the physical signal through that antenna contact triggers the shrimp to retreat simultaneously. Reaction time in milliseconds. If you have ever wondered whether two completely unrelated animals can run as a single coordinated unit, here is your answer. The arrangement does not involve negotiation or flexibility. It is a fixed exchange. The shrimp provides shelter and excavation. The goby provides perception. Neither animal functions as effectively without the other. But this partnership, as elegant as it looks from the outside, exists precisely because the shrimp's primary strength, that weapon, comes with a cost that eventually catches up with it. Every time the snapping claw fires, it absorbs the mechanical stress of its own cavitation event. Over time, that stress accumulates as micro-damage to the claw's internal structure. The claw that defines this animal is also wearing itself down every time it is used. And when the damage becomes severe enough, the shrimp does not repair it. What happens instead is something that is hard to accept the first time you read it. The small claw begins to differentiate into a new snapping claw, and the old damaged claw atrophies and regrows as the small utility claw. The two appendages swap functional roles entirely. The weapon becomes the hand becomes the weapon. During that transition, the shrimp has no functioning snap. The animal that kills without contact, that generates near-solar temperatures on demand, that has been dominating its patch of seafloor through sheer physical extremity, that animal is temporarily just a small, ordinary crustacean waiting for its new claw to mature. Whether this reversal happens across most Alphidae species or is limited to specific ones is something researchers are still working out, but the core fact is documented. The most extreme capability this animal has is also the thing that periodically dismantles it. The pistol shrimp is not an exception to how evolution works. It is a clean example of it. Evolution does not aim for balance or elegance or sustainability. It accumulates whatever produces an advantage, including mechanisms that are physically extreme, metabolically expensive, and structurally self-destructive over a long enough timeline. The shrimp generates a temperature comparable to the sun's surface inside a body smaller than your thumb. That scale mismatch is not a metaphor. It is a literal physical measurement. There is something genuinely disorienting about an animal this small operating this far outside the expected parameters, not as a fluke or an outlier, but as a stable, self-rebuilding system that has been running this way for millions of years, quietly at the bottom of coral reefs, while the rest of us assumed shrimp were prey. Thanks for watching. If this one was worth your time, a like helps more than you might think, and the next video is right there on the screen now.